So what is hourglass? So hourglass was being used in old days, and if you see, it has two bulbs and inside that there is sand which moves from upper to the lower bulb, uses gravity for it. And in this video we are going to print all the outer border of the hourglass, and we are going to name it as hourglass star pattern. We are going to print. And if you know something more about hourglass, so let me know inside the comment section. Please do like this video, and if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe guys. And let's get started for today's video. So this pattern we are going to print in this video. In the previous video we have just seen the hollow pyramid pattern, so you can just see it's similar like this. Just you can just see the upper part is inverted and the bottom part, if you see, of this pyramid is similar like this one. The first thing what we do is all the time we print the rows. So if you see first, second, third, fourth, so they are going to be row. So I'm just going to use Ctrl Alt down, and I'm just going to say I is equal to, we're going to start it from 0, then this will be 1, then this will be 2, this will be 3, this will be 4. How many rows? There are totally 5 rows. If I'm going to ignore the 0, there will be 5 rows. So here we will just say int n is equal to we are having totally 5. Now the first thing is we are going to print the rows. Now one more thing I'm going to tell you guys, we are going to divide it into two parts. So that means I'm going to remove this. We are going to first print this one. We are going to try the code for this, and then we will write the code for this upper part. I'm going to say here for integer I is equal to, we are going to start here from 0, I should be less than n, because we need to print up to 4. If you see, we are starting from 0 and at 4, less than n. Okay, and I'm just going to say I plus plus. So it is going to update. If I'm going to say system.out.print at this point, .out.print at this point, and here we are going to print the star. Okay, so I'm just going to say here star, and similarly I will print here new line. So if I'm going to make it empty at this line, and I'm just going to make it ln, and here we are just going to execute it, then we will be able to see the 5 rows. You will be able to see the 5 rows. And we need to move on new line again and again. Means we need to move on new line. So I'm just going to take it at up, and here you will be able to see that it will be printed on 5 lines. Okay, 5 rows you can just see at this point. Or you can just make it print ln and remove this, then also it will work similarly. When I'm going to execute, I will be able to see the 5 stars on each row. The next thing we need to do is we need to print the spaces. So here if you see, I'm just going to create another something like spaces sp is equal to. So here space is 0 on this line. You can just see on this line, if you see how many spaces are there, 1 dot, that means 1 space is there here. So I'm just going to make it here 1 space. And here if you see there are spaces, how many spaces? 2 spaces. Then here there will be, of course there will be 3, then there will be 4. So you can just see here there is 4 spaces, then we are getting 3 spaces. If you see I is 0 and space is also 0, here I and space is equal to 1. I is 2, then space is equal to 2. I is 3, then space is equal to 3. So what we can understand from here, if I'm going to say for, now here we can't take the I variable because it is already taken at this point. So we are going to say int j, we are going to start it from 0, and we are going to say j should be less than I and j plus plus. Yes, I'm going to explain about this. What does it mean? So what is j should be less than I? Okay, let's go to the first line where the j value is going to be 0. So here at this line j value is 0. So this is the condition, our j should be less than I. Now the j value is 0 at this line, and the I value is also 0 at this line. 0 is not less than 0. 0 is equal to 0, so there will be no space. Coming to the next line, what will happen? J value at start is going to be 0, less than, and here the I value is going to update to 1. You can just see it is 1 at this point. Is 0 less than 1? Yes, 0 is less than 1. So what will happen? 1 star will be printed. Then what will happen? This j will be updated to 1. This j will be updated to 1 in the next iteration, and 1 is not less than 1, so there will be just 1 space will be printed. Similarly for this line, and similarly for this line, it will execute, guys. So you can try it here. We are just going to print the spaces. So we can print the space. So obviously we are going to print here a star, and on this line we are going to say system dot out dot print ln to move on next line, and we will just see the spaces whether they are working fine or not. So if I'm going to just run it, and here you will be able to see these spaces. Okay, on the first line there is no space, on the second line there is 1 space, then 2, then 3, then 4. So these things we are able to print. We are just going to focus on this top part. Now after this we need to print these stars and also the spaces which are present inside it. So one thing we need to see here is how many stars are there on this line. So there are totally 9 stars on this line. Okay, you can just calculate 3, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. On this line, how many stars and how many spaces are there inside it. So if you see, there are 2 stars. Total number of stars and spaces here on this line is 7. 2 stars and 3 spaces, 3, 4, 5. So totally 5. That means we need to move up to 5 at this line. So here if you see 2 plus 1, you are getting 1 space and 2 stars. That means we need to move up to 3 position. And here there is just 1, so we need to move at just 1 position at this point. This I'm just going to come at this line and we're going to say print stars and space. So both things we are going to do, stars and space, we are going to print at this line. So we are going to use a for loop, and inside this you can use a j variable or you can create another variable, except we can't use here I variable because it is already there. This j variable we have just declared inside this loop and we can again use it over here. So we can use j variable, so we are going to say j. So here I'm going to start from 0. So if you see, from 0 we are starting from this point, or for this line 0 will be this, for this line 0 will be this. So we are starting from 0 and up to where we need to move. Here the formula comes, j should be less than 2 into n minus I minus 1. Here if you see, n value is 5 and I value is 0. If I'm going to say 5 minus 0, it will be 5. So 5 2s I will get 10, and 10 minus 1 you will get 9. But if you see, it's less than. So we need to move up to 8 because we are starting from 0. And at this point the n value obviously it becomes 5, and minus, here the I value is 1. Minus 1, and again here there will be minus 1. So if you see 5 minus 1, you will get 4, 4 to the 8 you will get here, and 8 minus 1 you will get 7, and less than, that means we'll move up to the 6th position. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6th position. Okay, up to 6th position we need to move. Similarly, this formula will apply for all the elements which are present at the bottom. At this line, j should be less than 2 into, in bracket, n minus I minus 1 at outside. And we are just going to say j plus plus. And if I'm going to print right now, guys, this stars at this line, so you will be able to see the stars, system.out.print, and here we are just going to print the stars. So what will happen when I'm just going to print this? All the stars will be filled. That means there will be no spaces. We are able to see all the stars at this point. That means the inverted hollow pyramid you will be able to see. Okay, now there are some stars which we have printed here. Here basically we wanted to print the space. So I'm just going to remove this, and if I'm going to execute this right now, you will be able to see the filled pyramid with inverted pattern. You can just see at this point. Now we need to print the spaces at this point. Okay, inside it. So how we can do this? Here we are going to use a condition. The condition is going to be true, then the star is going to be print. If the condition is going to be false, then we are going to print this space. So I'm just going to copy this, print it over here, and I'm going to make it space. Now what is going to be the condition? So if you see here, our j value is going to be 0 at this point. Then there will be this star, this star, this star, this star, and this star. That means the first line you can just see over here, this line. So we will have the first condition as when the j value becomes 0. Second condition. What is the second condition? Is the second condition when the value of I becomes 1. That means the first row. Okay, first row, when the I value becomes 0. Okay, when the I value is equal to 0, then we need to print stars on all the line. If you see here, I value is equal to 0. That means the first row. And the next condition becomes, if you see here, we need to print the stars at this point. At this point. As we have just seen, when I'm just doing this, I'm going able to get the 8th position. So here we are going to use this similar formula, 2 into n minus I minus 1. But if you see, there is less than. So here, instead of minus 1, we'll do minus 2. So what will happen if I'm going to do it minus 2, and I'm just going to remove this j. So here what will happen? 5 minus I, which will be 5 only because I is 0 at this line. So 5 into 2 you will get 5 to the 10, and 10 minus 2 you will get 8. That means you will get the 8 number position. Similarly here what will happen on this line? I'm just going to say 2 into 5 minus 1 minus here 2. So for 5 minus 1 you will get 4. At this point you will get 4, and 4 into 2 you will get 4 to the 8. At this line you will get 8 minus 2. I'm going to get 6. And if you see, this is the 6th position on this line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say here another condition, the last condition we can say, or when the value of j becomes double equal to 2 into n minus I and minus 2. Now if I'm going to execute this, then the obviously will be able to see this pattern, and yeah, you will be able to see the spaces as well. This is going to be the pattern, and obviously there will be spaces 1, then 2. What was our expectation, we are getting it over here. Now the next part comes here to print all the bottom part. I'll just make here a comment bottom part. Now at this line we are going to start from 1. The rows will start from 1. Here there will be 2, here there will be 3, here there will be 4. So here you can take I variable, because if you see here on this line, this was the loop, so that's why we were not able to take I. Now this loop is completed, so we can take here I. So we are going to take here I, which is going to start from 1 and will be, so we will say for integer I is equal to, which will start from 1, I should be less than n, and we'll say I plus plus. So obviously we'll be able to see 5 rows printing on each line. Now we need to do next thing, which is printing the spaces. So at this line, if you see, there are total 3 spaces, then 2 spaces, then 1 spaces, and then 0. So if I'm going to say here, so if I'm going to come here, tab spaces is equal to, so at this line there are 3, 2, and here 1, and then we're getting 0. N minus I minus 1 plus 1. So n minus I will be 5 minus 1, which will be 4. Minus 1 will be 3, and plus 1 you will get 4. So here you will get the value as 4. We'll start the loop from 1. So it will print 1, 2, 3. Say j should be less than. Okay, j should be less than this formula. J should be less than n minus I minus 1 plus 1. N will be 5. 5 minus here I value is 2. So 5 minus 2 you will get 3. 3 minus 1 you will get 2, and again we are going to add 1, so here you will get 3, and we'll print less than 3, that means we'll print up to 2, and we are going to start our j value from 1. J is going to be 1, it will be printed. When the j value is going to be 2, it will be printed. When it is going to be 3, then it will not print, because we are having condition j should be less than 3. Similarly for all other concept, here integer j we are going to start it from 1. J should be less than, we are having the formula, as you can make it inside parenthesis. The formula is n minus I minus 1 plus 1, and here we are going to say j plus plus. And coming outside this loop, I'm just going to say system dot out dot, and we need to print this space, so I'm just going to say print. Here inside this we'll have space, and here if you see how many spaces and stars we need to print, so there are totally 3 at this point. If you see here 2 spaces and 3 spaces and 2 stars, that means 3, 4, 5 you need to print at this point. Similarly here you can just see there are 2 stars and how many spaces, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 here at this point, it's 7, and here obviously there will be 9. So if you see from the above part, it will be opposite of the above part. So here the formula will be 2 into I plus 1. I plus 1. 2 into I will get 2 into 1, which is going to be 2, plus 1 you will get 3. And we are going to start it from 0 index, 0, 1 and 2. Okay, it will be printed. Similarly for this, j should be less than. So what will happen here, it will be 2 into I. 2 into 2 you will get 4 plus 1, which will be 5. So less than 5 will move up to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly for all the concept. So here we are just going to come, and here we are going to print the spaces and stars. So I'm just going to make print spaces. So we are going to say for integer j is equal to, we are going to start from 0, and we are having formula j should be less than 2 into I plus 1. You can make it inside bracket or without bracket as well. And here we will update the j, and coming outside this, if I'm going to print something like system.out.print, and if I'm going to print here star, then you will be able to see all the stars. So I'm just going to say system.out.print and ln to come on new line. So executing this, you will be able to see filled pyramid at the bottom one, and upper one will be with the spaces, and this will be with filled. So if you see, this will be your j is equal to again 0 position. Here we are going to say if the value of j becomes double equal to 0, then this task will be printed. Then the next condition will be when the I value is 4, j should be equal to n minus 1. That means the fourth position, that means the fourth row, which is at this line. To print this, which is at the right side, 2 into I, because if you see 2 into I, so it will be 2 into 1, which is 2. So 0, 1 and 2, you will be able to print it at this line. 2 into this I value is 2, which is going to be 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. J should be equal to, double equal to 2 into I. This condition, and if this condition is true, then we are going to print the star, or else we'll print the spaces over here. Okay, and if I'm going to execute it right now, guys, so you will be able to see the hollow pattern. Okay, so here again one more thing we just missed is to create here a space, and now you are able to see finally the hourglass pattern. And okay, now again there is something. So here one condition was wrong, which was I should be equal to n minus 1. That means 5 minus 1 you will get 4. So at this point we just need to make it I is equal to n minus 1. And if I'm going to execute it right now, you will be able to see the hourglass pattern. Now you are able to see the hourglass pattern. If I'm going to change this size, obviously it will work for that sizes. If I'm going to make it 10, so for 10 it will be able to execute with the proper spaces. So for 4 we are going to make it 4, and we are just going to execute it. You will be able to see it for 4. You will be able to see for any pattern or any size, and it will be able to print the spaces. It will be able to print the stars in proper way. So this is all about the hourglass pattern, guys. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe and share this video with your friends, and please do like this video. Thank you guys for watching this video.